All right. Well, that was one hell of a finale, guys. Wouldn't you say?
I am so disappointed.
So disappointed because why Austin? Why are you so?
All I
disappointed?
wanted was Cinder to open the left eye and for it to be green. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, it's actually
Really?
Yeah, for
it's
you
actually
it is.
way too much to ask.
Rooster Teeth
Is it
will forever spite you.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the podcast no one will listen to. I'm Zach. I'm joined with Austin and Eric.
Hi.
Hello.
And
Why are you listening?
This is
you got to save that at the end, man. That's for the end.
Fine, for the end.
But welcome to our spoiler discussion of RWBY Volume 5. We just saw the finale. And we're going to be talking about it. It's going to be a very in-depth review and kind of a first impressions analysis. If you don't want spoilers, I'm going to put up a timestamp in post. So if you want to skip all the spoiler talk, go to that point. So
From what, the end?
no, I got more activities planned other than just talking about RWBY Volume 5. We're also going to be taking some questions and comments from some people in a certain Facebook group as well. We're going to be.
So we're doing that now.
Hey! I'm not going to be doing any names or nothing about that.
I would.
No. It's how you get hit.
Yeah, that.
They don't know who I am.
Oh shit.
See?
But anyway,
I'm not listening anyway. Who cares?
initial thoughts. What do you guys think? What did you? No kayfabe.
Well, here's
no
what
nothing about your
favorite thing in the season.
Austin
My fa-
always has to go first because he
yeah.
always has the most to say.
Yeah.
I do. I think my most favorite thing about the season is John's semblance. Finally seeing it, and I'm happy it's not something lame like just healing. Like if it was just healing, I was gonna be really pissed, like it initially showed. But I really like that. What they've done is they've turned him into a Blue Lantern. Like,
Okay, for the people who don't know what a Blue Lantern is.
okay, like a Blue Lantern is like they themselves don't really have anything special about them in the Lantern Corps. What they can do is they like augment the powers of other lanterns. So there we go. Remnant's first Blue Lantern is John Jones. Nothing. Okay, never mind.
No.
Anywho,
Wait, hold on. John Jones? That's the Martian Manhunter.
I know. There's John Stewart. One of them's named Jones. I know that. Not John Jones, but there you go.
So moving on, Eric, what'd you think of Volume 5?
But I like that because it makes him really a leader. Like this is the ultimate leader skill. Like you make everyone better.
You can just say it's rally.
Exactly.
You
That's it.
Rally your troops to battle.
That's exactly it.
Like Joan of Arc did.
So there we go. Case in point, John better leader than RWBY yet again.
I mean, that wasn't really a point of contention, but all right. Eric, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part. My apologies. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite part of this volume. I suppose it's the fight between Cinder and Raven, and
I gotta say though, like animation-wise, that was a pretty awesome fight.
Yeah,
I like people have been redubbing that fight with Duel of the Fates in the background.
Even though I do have some problems with it, just personal subjective issues. But
like what?
It's just their powers. I don't know if this is I should be talking about this now or we'll say this till later, but I have issue with the powers of the Spring and Fall Maidens and how these affect Cinder and Raven. Because Raven has apparently just ice powers and Cinder has just fire powers, which I find is off.
No, Cinder has ice powers because she froze Raven before trying to kill Bernal. Yeah, so,
I think
Cinder
it's
has
more,
ice powers as well.
I think it's more whatever the user wants, really.
I think they all have basically the same power. They just have this.
It's how they choose
magic.
to use it.
But even so, I don't think that's the direction Rooster Teeth should go with this.
Unlimited power?
No.
You think they should have more specializations?
Yes, specialization magics. They should have magic pertaining to spring, fall, elements associated with that.
Although, when you think of spring, it's like, well, what really is spring if not just like
Fucking hippies.
light summer. Just like how fall is light
Summer,
winter.
Diet summer.
You have like your transitional seasons.
You're just
and
one
then you have
calorie,
your-
not enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like the winter maiden should have the ice powers, the summer maiden should have fire, if not heat powers, spring maiden should have, like,
Water.
Water,
And
rejuvenation.
fall should have earth because everything's dying.
How does that
Plant
even work
manipulation,
It doesn't.
and then the fall
It's the
maiden
four
should
elements.
have, like, decay, degeneration, wind,
Death touch.
that sort of thing. But that's just nitpicky subjective criticisms.
out? Okay.
I like that they're all kind of on an equal plane.
I can kind of see where Eric's coming from. I think that'd be a pretty interesting concept. However, I don't really see anything wrong with them having just. My nitpick is not with the maiden powers, but just in the whole like RWBY magic system, and how there can be kind of magic with dust, objective like superpowers with semblances and whatever the hell aura is supposed to be, and then you have the maidens, and these are all supposed to be different things, but no, the maiden powers are the magic without limits. But you still have superpowers and regenerating shields that heal you, like magic powers, without some sort of mortal limit.
Well,
Like, the only
it's like
limit is your
aura
own
has a
mortality.
limit. Like I think when we were seeing when Weiss got wounded, I think if she got wounded in the heart, that's like aura limit. No aura is going to heal you. But if you had the maiden powers, maybe a maiden could heal themselves like that,
I mean, that
or someone else. Although wait, no, that
because maidens
No,
can
'cause
still
Amber.
die.
yeah, because Amber just proved that.
So there's obviously limits to the maiden powers because they can still die.
Yeah,
Because if there were no limits, then
immortality.
then Amber would have never been in trouble.
And this will never have been a problem.
Right. God, since I guess we'll move on to me. I guess my favorite point in this season. Again, there were a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones. I mean, I think the finale is still fresh in my mind. So obviously, the Raven and Yang, just that whole scene.
Just watched it like 5
Just
minutes
just
ago.
that
How
whole
could it
scene
not
was.
be fresh in your mind.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like my favorite in the season, I'd have to say second favorite would have to probably be the Belladonna fight with like
Oh.
Bagheera and like just that whole episode and
Fight.
sequence. Were two great fights.
The man is the head of the house.
Bagheera is my husbando
He
now,
holds up the house.
and
Literally.
yeah, that's basically the basics with me as far as like my favorite part in the season overall. And I think this is going to take up the bulk of the podcast. It's just tick for tat. Do you think this season is better than Volume 4?
That's a duh.
That's a duh from Eric.
I'll give it. I'll say yes, but I still have critiques with this season.
All right, well, we can get into that later on. But I wanted to say that it's just more of a general thing because we'll take some comments later on in the episode. But I think this would be probably a good time to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like. So aside from our favorite moments, what I wanted to see from Volume 5 was a lot more of a grounded story. I wanted to see them actually form their narrative because after like analyzing the first 3 seasons, by and large, RWBY was without a plot, basically, for the first 3 seasons. Like an overarching narrative.
Yeah, you did say that in the mid-season podcast.
Right. And I think with season 4, and I think this is probably, at the end of the day, why people are so salty about it is because Rooster Teeth is still getting their sea legs when it comes to like an actual like arc with plot points and specific.
I think part of the trouble there is that was Monty's original intention, was to have like pretty much bring us in the first 2 seasons like, oh, it's all happy-go-lucky, and kind of rope us in with getting to like the characters, and then 3 was as it was supposed to be, pretty much taking the wool off our eyes and being like, oh, death is real in this show.
I mean, of course, this is all conjecture because we don't know for sure. But if I'm being honest,
No, I'd say we know for sure because
I mean, we
he didn't die till 3 was done.
Yeah, but we also don't know what the intent was for like that to mean afterwards because he he died afterwards. So really,
after 3 was done.
Yeah, but we don't know exactly the events.
Are you saying like 4 and 5 weren't for sure? But I mean,
well, no, that's what I'm saying. The 3 was a pivotal point, not only because Monty left or passed. I'm trying to harshen, not make it so harsh about that point. But the way I saw it is that he set up. First off, he had a good tournament arc, which he used as a springboard to introduce the villains to the main characters. But I don't think it's too far to say that we might have actually seen a completely different direction. And by that I mean just essentially them still staying in Beacon, essentially having a rebuilding arc. Basically, I saw this after kind of skimming through the first 3 seasons as like a anime-inspired, mechanical, just Harry Potter, basically. It's all within the school.
Harry Potter.
Well, think about it.
There are 4 schools.
Because you have the schools, you have just pretty much the archetypes of your slice of life anime, high school anime. You have your action, your shonen, but you also have like at your core, you have the beginnings of a Harry Potter-esque adventure where you essentially would, like season 4, they may have stuck around to rebuild Beacon, which at this point, when you really got to think about it, it's like, well, since all the White Fang and pretty much all the battles have ended, why aren't they rebuilding Beacon? Like, why isn't the narrative around rebuilding Beacon? You know what I mean?
I think
because you
they
have
do address it as that's what Glinda's been doing this whole time, is that she's been rebuilding while Crow and the kids have been off.
Well, that's my question though, is like
why
isn't the narrative around rebuilding Beacon staying there when you really needed to? Especially when it's the communication hub for the rest of the world.
No, it's not the communication hub. Everybody has the communication tower. It was just in that part of the kingdom, the Beacon was the tower.
Yeah, that'd still probably be a pretty big deal to kind of get online ASA now.
Well, that's what Glinda's doing.
Glinda's just one very...
Glinda is Superwoman, okay?
Okay?
She's doing everything.
But more to my point, the season 4, they kind of had their sea legs with this branching narrative. They wanted to do a lot, which I know I had my gripes, I had my critiques, but I think at the end of the day, I can appreciate their efforts to try and something new narrative-wise that they hadn't attempted yet.
I think they're getting better. I can say, I'm not going to say like season 5's like, oh, you've done the great turnaround. It's back to the level of 3, and it's like it's better than 4.
Well, it's unfair to compare it because you're working with essentially.
You're working with another man's dream. That's what's happening.
No, it's not that at all. It's because you're working, like I said, you're working with no plot. Now you have a plot. These are you can basically almost see these as 2 completely different shows, narratively speaking, because you have. I mean, I've already made my points about that, but the thing is, with 5, I think it's their first earnest like case of doing some character development, doing some, actually some pretty decent dialogue between characters. Things actually happen through like more than just the action shots. And
5 seasons for us to see John Semblance.
I mean, it really wasn't.
Let that sink in.
I'll let it sink in for you because I don't have a huge boner for John. Because I don't live vicariously through a teenage blonde boy.
No, you live vicariously through a teenage blonde woman.
Yeah, and I'm much better.
Even more strange.
You're just jealous because she looks better.
Yep. Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So
I like redheads anyway.
Oh, great! And the one guy to work with is Nora.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah, I will say though,
damn season 3.
The beginning of season 5 did have a good start, I will still say that. And the gripes that I probably would have, if any, are just with like the personal choices of like comedy characters in a show like this. Now that you're making this more of a drama, plot-driven show, comedy characters, it's like you can either do it like Marvel does and keep the whole thing lighthearted while still kind of keeping an air. Because the thing about Marvel movies is that everybody has plot armor. I can't help but think that who's going to survive except everybody. You know?
Well, you got to do like the DC thing where it's like everything's serious.
Yeah,
but every now and then you throw in like a little joke here and there.
The problem with DC movies though is that
no, not DC movies, DC animated.
DC animated? Oh, well, that's a different
like
story.
Justice League and like.
Well, that's because you only have like
Batman.
Specific characters. But the point is,
but I mean, like they have it where they've mastered like that dark. The story is still serious, but you have like those little jokes here and there, like when the Flash and Lex Luthor swap. It's serious, and it's like he runs in the bathroom. He's like, "I'm gonna learn the Flash's identity," which is a serious thing. He takes it off. He goes, "I have no idea who this is." And there's your joke. That's how you put a joke and keep it serious. There's a talent to that, and I think they need to develop that a little bit.
Fair enough. Of course, when you're working with somebody with a personality like Ruby's or Nora's, it's very hard because you don't have jokes, you don't have comedy, you just
silly themselves.
You just have a silly character who just does silly things. And is also the protagonist of your show, which makes her just infinitely more insufferable.
When's she gonna get Goku powers?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like the.
That wasn't your favorite scene.
No, that wasn't my favorite scene because I was making it like a narrative, like narrative wise and story wise. My favorite. That's just my favorite just because I'm a shitlord. Like that when Ruby got her skull
beamed in the
head. Beamed.
That was I laughed. That's comedy right there.
Oh, that's unintentional comedy. But that actually is another thing that I would like to commend Bruce Tooth on, which I guess could be seen as a snark, but is actually a legitimate. I commend you for taking the camera off Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Because you just shown like Bruce, Ruby has a great cast of characters with their own storylines, ambitions, and motivations. Yeah. And as long as you keep the camera off of Ruby and on literally anyone else, you're gonna keep me around because I'm ready to say I'm interested in what happens in season 6.
Yes, there's another show that does that.
I mean, there's another movie series like that, Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, Harry Potter's a good but no, there's another TV show does that.
What? Where everybody else is more interesting than the protagonist?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're thinking of that.
Eric, My Hero. That's what I was gonna say. That's
My Hero isn't that fair because
Deku actually does a little bit.
Well, yeah, but Deku isn't like completely insufferable. He just
no. But what I'm saying is like you have those where you focus on the supporters.
I mean, by that
you still have the main character for most of the time, but you do dive in and help supporting. You show the supporting cast more.
Attack on Titan does that.
That was what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Those are the only two that I can think of at the top of my head because
I think The Simpsons has the later years, but
okay, we're not going to bring in Simpsons.
I know, but I'm like
structure.
I was going to say The Simpsons first, but I'm like, no, that's too.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So Eric, what were your? You said you gave it a meh.
Yeah.
What's your grade?
What are your?
I'm just. This
Mushroom
season, the season ended too much in a neat little bow for me, and I'm disappointed about how the White Fang pretty much is dead at this point. And the main support of Salem's.
Because you expected an assault on Beacon.
No, I expected more loose ends to be filled for the later seasons, besides Adam. Big buff guy, Silver, and the other girl, but
Mercury.
Yeah, just running away. It's we'll fight you another day. Team Rocket's blasting off again.
I'm more pissed. The White Fang only has apparently 7 members to Adam's. Highly spoken of huge unit of the White Fang.
I would say that I think that the White Fang's assault was a little tacked on because. and that might have just been to sacrifice for time and just structure, because I mean, the big thing was just the maiden relic and that whole fight in the courtyard.
I know that's like the main
Like-
focus, but I mean, they really set it up as if Adam had like an army.
Yeah.
Like,
That was kind of a
and they show the assault on him, and he's got like 7 people with him.
with
Why?
With
Yeah.
modern technology. You just see overhead just drones and just drone strikes. Oh, there's your army. It's an
It's a
army of
bunch
drones.
Provided by Atlas.
Yep.
So that's one gripe I have is we pretty much lost out on a White Fang and non-White Fang Faunus fight.
At the end of the day, I can kind of
I could see it being cut for time, but I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I feel like that should have been in there.
sure. I think we definitely, if that was going to be the case, they would probably have had to do it like maybe 3 episodes before the
Like
finale.
started it.
Probably it should have started a few episodes before the finale. Because
Like,
how
yeah,
much?
this army Blake has to fight through to get to the other
Yeah.
team. That would.
Of course, you could also see this as a war of ideologies rather than like a war of like actual like violence.
That would be a good one.
I mean, when you see like,
the majority,
the
hold
majority.
the idea of good. Wow,
Yeah.
it's a few.
and I think that's kind of the point they were going for, which I find a little bit more refreshing than, because we've already seen that big battle of the White Fang versus
Yeah.
the good guys in season 3. So I think now when you have kind of this,
Is Adam spreading propaganda about his numbers? Find out at 11.
no, but he is spreading rumors about his fertility and masculinity.
Why won't she love me? Ha, you're so scared, you little bitch.
Oh my god, when he was like whinging and whining in that hologram, the belly Johners need to be stopped. They're always in my plans.
I'll get them next time, those meddling kids.
Oh my god, I was kind of hoping it's like, please die. Please just go
die.
away. Please.
They've ruined such a.
I think that's kind of,
That's my one beef with Adam. It's like you could have made a good creepy ass villain, and you just turned him into a whiny teenager.
although if you look at it this way, you kind of have this other side where, think about it this way, you have this whole like mythology about Adam, and then it's almost like a parallel between Oz the Great and Powerful. You have this big, intimidating guy, and when you actually know him, he's just this whimpering little shit. So
A boy, in fact.
right, but I can understand how they wanted to do this whole demystification of Adam Torres about this. He's a ruthless tyrant who kills indiscriminately. Like, no, he's actually just a pissant who's just so insufferably whiny.
I'm like, that's how you not be taken seriously.
Well, right. So, and I think that's, again, kind of the whole point that they were trying to make.
Like, it's like, I think the trouble is the mythos around Adam. It's like, oh, Adam's like charismatic and like a creepy Dracula way.
He wasn't. I don't think there were ever, even in the trailers, I don't think there was anything that was charismatic about him. I think he was the stoic, like, strong.
Yeah, like a bull.
Yeah, but he wasn't charismatic.
But like charisma through the string.
That's not. Okay.
But like I said, they really fucked up the mythos around him is like.
Well, if you take it through that lens of demystification, then you kind of they did it on
sense.
point. I can see how you would want him to kind of back up all his talk, which would be pretty refreshing as well. It's just another avenue they could have taken there.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of that's one of my disappointments.
Sure. Was there anything that stood out to you, Eric, aside from the from? I completely forgotten what your
my peeps are very subjective. The only technical issues I think I had problems with was in episode 11. The fight choreography seemed a little clunky, but that was only through first impressions. I didn't go back and rewatch it, which I should have done for this podcast.
Oh,
but
I agree with you.
Yeah,
you're right on that one. I remember 11 was kind of like, we're going to show all these individual fights, but the fights aren't that.
Yeah.
noteworthy.
My major gripes with at least the last half of the season is just everything seemed too one-sided. Like in episode 11 and 12, it was so one-sided with the villains, and then everything was one-sided with the heroes, and everything's now wrapped up in a neat little bow instead of
I look at
things.
it.
Things don't feel as organic as they should be.
I feel like it's an opposite to 3. Like, you know how 3 we have like this huge loss, a very clear victory for the villains, and then we have with 4, it's a very clear victory for the heroes. Not 4, with 5. 5 clear victory for the heroes.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that,
but
it
does feel unnatural.
Yeah, I just wish things were more organic. Like there were some more wins and losses on both sides.
You know, it's too even to the hero side.
All right, yeah, that's a pretty interesting interpretation. Do you guys feel like you've talked at length enough about like Volume 5 specifically, or do you think we can move on to like the next?
I got one gripe I just want to air.
Okay.
That we haven't covered.
I didn't like with these last 3 episodes all the talk explaining.
This whole. I
did not like how they're like. I was okay with John's because it's like, okay, sure, you can do that. You can say, oh, your where he's like, you unlocked your semblance, it's healing, and he's like, no, it's not, because I'm augmenting for aura. I'm like, okay, that's fair. We might need that much of a clear distinction. You can't really show that. But then where they were going with like Hazel's ability and then talking about this and that, and it was like, just show these things. Don't explain them. I mean, I'm very much an advocate of show, don't tell. Like in Blade Runner, where it's like the debate between is he the main character, is he one of the what are they?
Replicants?
Yeah, is he one of the replicants? It's like they don't tell you yes or no. They show you, hey, he might be, or hey, he may not be.
Are you talking about the original, or are you talking about the 2049?
The original.
Okay.
With Harrison Ford.
Well, Harrison Ford was in both.
I know. So, the one where Harrison Ford's the real main character.
You could also argue the real main character in 2049, even though he only shows up for like
either way,
30
it's
minutes.
Still with both of them, they still do the same thing. They kind of show, they don't tell.
Well, because I talked at length about this. And
yeah, I know.
When talking about
you and I differ on this.
Right, because I think you're describing info dumping, which is
that's what I hate.
Well, yeah,
that's what I feel this was.
Yeah, but that wasn't info dumping.
I feel it was.
Well, the thing about info dumping is that you take a side from the action for an extended length of time to explain a new concept that isn't entirely like contextual to the rest of the narrative. What you have here in the last 3 episodes is simply just an offhand quip of like, oh my God, why isn't he going down? Well, it's because the semblance is pain nullification. You can't beat him in a head-on brawl. Oh, well, that makes sense. Then I guess I'll just hit harder. So
I'll just drop a building on him.
Right.
No one can survive that.
Or I mean, and I think with the Jean semblance, especially when it's like. it's like a talking in circles thing. It's like, oh my God, John, your aura is healing. I'm magnifying her aura to help her. He was like, so you're healing her, John.
Technically.
Don't be a dick about this, John.
Don't be a dick, John.
Just have Wrench be like, don't be a dick about this, John.
Wrench, shut up. You don't talk.
Yeah. So it's mostly just a matter of definition.
That's my nitpick for the season.
So.
Oh, and we also we got Hazel completely wrong. He's not Papa Bear. He's actually
No, he was the huntsman from Snow White. Was the original.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
I thought he was Papa Bear, and it was that his family was killed, wife and son or something.
No, we guessed the huntsman.
Did I make that up?
Yeah, you probably made that up.
I may have made that up. Okay. Anyway, he's the brother of Gretel, so he's actually Hansel and Gretel.
Which makes Ozpin the witch in the woods.
Yeah.
It's all confirmed. You know that plate of cookies he had in season 1? Dead giveaway. He's the witch in the woods with the candy house.
Exactly.
You heard it here first, folks. Oz is not.
Oz doesn't drink coffee, he drinks cocoa.
Yep.
The sugar of coffee.
Yeah. There we go. Well.
That's so stupid.
It's so fucking stupid. Okay, so to kind of further along this, to get this discussion a little more length, I posed a question in the RWBY Facebook page, and as per, I'm not going to be naming any names, and we're just gonna scroll through some of our favorite comments, or at least just ones that stick out to us, or at least have a good conversation about it. So the question I posed was, for those of you upset with Volume 5, is it still better than Volume 4? And if not, I mean, come on, dude. Like, what do you want?
What do you want? What do you want?
We'll go down the list of things. The one that comes to me is just a short and sweet one. Is less cliffhangers. What are your thoughts on? Do you think this had like too many cliffhangers, or like, do these people even know what a cliffhanger is at this point?
I'm not gonna. No, I'd say there's no. The only cliffhanger is that they're going to continue the story.
Right. The thing is,
a true cliffhanger is like the story ends and you're not going to get anything.
Well, see, the cliffhanger is a very specific thing, and then you'd have it a non-serial show where you'd like back in the like 80s of like, will Fonzie jump over the shark? Well, there's this and then. Tune in next time to the Batman.
And then you find out ABC canceled it, and you're like, fuck ABC.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it's the Bonds. Are we really pouring one out for the Bonds?
I am.
You weren't even alive back then, dude.
They don't know that.
Gentlemen, they do. But anyway, when you have a series of episodes that are interlocked with a plot line, to have it called a cliffhanger isn't exactly an accurate statement. When you just have something that's feeding into the next episode. So it's like, oh my god, the vault opened. Oh,
cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. It's like, no, because next week she's gonna walk into it. You know what's gonna happen in the sense of like, she's gonna walk into it. No, Cinder's gonna rise from the dead and skewer her in the back like she always does. Which I was half expecting for this.
So was I.
I was half expecting like Cinder to come in, stab Yang in the gut, and then I'd cry. In response, I cry.
Stab Raven. Raven give the powers to Yang, and Yang try to fight Cinder to keep hold of the relic
with one arm.
Yeah,
doubtful.
No, with the maiden power, she gets a firearm.
That would have been cool.
I know, right?
That would have been all right.
See, some of my ideas aren't crazy.
Eric, did you chime in on the cliffhanger thing? Or?
Regarding season 5 or 4, I didn't.
With 5. Or at least,
I feel like there's hardly any cliffhangers, quote unquote, for season 5. Everything's too wrapped up in a neat little bow, and I personally don't like that. I like if there was a little bit more we had to look forward to in Volume 6, but that's just me.
Pretty much 5's cliffhanger is, will they kill Salem? Maybe.
No.
Well, right. That was the other thing I was going to bring up. We are going to pretty much be kingdom hopping.
Oh, because they're going to go to Atlas.
Yeah.
Isn't that the only kingdom they haven't seen yet? It was Beacon. Now we've seen
Haven, Atlas, and then we got to go to the 4th one, which will probably be at the end of this.
Well, what's the 4th one?
And then they'll probably go back to Beacon.
Well, what's the 4th one? Why did I think the Menagerie was a kingdom?
No, it's a town and a kingdom.
So if they're
not a log in the bog in the bog.
Yeah, I thought it was just RWBY Australia.
It was something has to be.
So if
how else did Velvet get that accent?
Go Space Broncos.
Get Space Broncos.
Yeah.
So if we're going to Atlas, I'm assuming we're going to run into Weiss's father.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Ironwood.
And there's
Daddy Ironwood.
Yeah, there's going to be problems there.
Well, there's going to be more of a lot of I told you so's and a lot of you're a little kid now.
Okay, so Atlas is here we go. So Vale is the kingdom, Beacon is the academy. So Mistral is the kingdom, Haven's the academy. We got to go to Vacuole and Shade after Atlas, and Mantle's the kingdom.
Mantle's the kingdom of voluptuous.
No, Mantle's the kingdom, Atlas is the academy.
Well, what was the one that you said?
And the third one is Vacuole, and the Academy is Shade.
That sounds dumb. It's just, never mind.
That's how we fix this world thing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go on to a next
Wait a
comment.
minute here.
We'll have this comment I found particularly. I want less build-up. Most of this season has been them talking about what needs to be done and not doing anything to make it happen.
I like that.
You agree with that?
I agree with that. Until this finale.
Yeah.
I think
because I think you posed that question like episode 3.
Well, no, that was back in like volume 4 when there wasn't anything like happening.
Oh, okay.
Like nothing was really paid off.
Wait, when did you post this to the Facebook page?
Like I'd say it's probably January 9th. It's just a couple.
2017?
No,
2018.
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
All right.
Then yeah, why the hell are they coming up with that?
Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't think the person who posted this comment knows what narrative structure is or how a story works.
No.
Let's see. I don't really think that's having a lot of.
It's just a complete failure.
Well, what's next?
I want the old charm of the show back.
Oh, that's not happening.
That's well,
yeah,
which is kind of confusing. Which can be interpreted in so many different ways. It's like if you want
go resurrect Monty, that's what you got to do.
Basically, if you want to take it as a literal, like I want the show to go back the way I'd say even in an alternate universe where Monty never died, it still probably would never be the same. Because the thing is, it gets bigger every year. They get more of a budget. They get more of
Monty's allowed to play more as the seasons go.
Right. So you would inevitably have gone through a metamorphosis now.
Well, that's why 3 is like the turning point, was because finally they had enough support, and Monty could be like, "Hey, I can launch this into an actual animation story because I have the funding now."
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole point.
All right. Okay, let's see if we have.
Hey, I wasn't there.
Oh, here's a paragraph.
Good lord.
Here, I think there's a lot of stuff we can nitpick about this one. I'd say, okay, if we're gonna this one sounds very bitchy, so I'm gonna make it into an annoying voice.
No.
I'd say Volume 5 is the worst one yet.
It's like nails
cliches and spammable cliffhangers every goddamn episode for no reason other than to function as clickbait. The plot is a complete and utter mess. The villains are overused tropes done to death without anything to keep them fresh and memorable. Ruby isn't the main character in her own show because John is. The maidens weren't even the original script, so I have no idea why they bothered adding them in the first place, other than to make the intrigue and plot even stupider. The origin story is the epitome of the unoriginal mythology of two gods, and there are so many inconsistencies with each passing volume, and I fucking come into a waifu pillow.
Are you sure?
So, what
are you sure that's cum coming out? Because I'm not sure you have testicles.
I anticipate a dislike.
No, he's got like six likes in reaction to it. So,
I mean, for us,
although he's got it's pretty good, pretty long thread. So I'm guessing
he doesn't have ears.
This one,
if he heard the sound of his voice, he'd kill himself.
Oh my god! So this one, obviously, a lot of just vitriol for basically. It's a more vitriolic response to a simple. I want the old charm of the show back, which was equally stupid, but not in a like toxic way of just like completely shitting on a show that this guy apparently likes.
I know, right? You like this show? Really? I couldn't tell.
Really? From what you've seen, it's almost like you hate the show. So
I'm going to address that John thing being the main character. That goes back to what I've been saying, where you need to kind of put a focus on your supporting characters and kind of take away from the main character a little bit. They tried to do that in 4 with Sean. They tried to do it a little bit with Nora and Ren, and I really just kind of phoned it in with Nora and Ren. I'm sorry.
That's because nobody cares about Nora.
I know.
Again, and this happened
but
in Volume 4. You're going to get a lot of hate from Ren Nora.
I know. You just keep egging them on.
Fight me.
If you can find them.
Come back and broom.
Anywho, but I think going further with that and looking at the secondary characters, I think they've done a good job with like Blake and Weiss, Yang to a degree. Really, just go to hell.
A lot of cliffhanger comments in this. I don't know what the hell is up with those
cliffhangers. I think they're mixing 4 with 5. That's the only explanation. Because the only cliffhangers. Will they kill Salem? Find out on the next Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, here's one. It's kind of hard to compare. They both have massive failings, which I mean, come on, dude. But they're strangely in entirely different areas. But is better than one the most amateur and professional productions to see the light of day? Really, where you think it's unreasonable to start asking for more?
What?
Basically, they're just asking for more because they're apparently Rooster Teeth is so big and so popular that they're just being demanding.
Like, wait, the fandom's being demanding?
No, they're being demanding. Like, I think, but it is...
I don't know, I don't think that's...
In air quotes, better than one of the most amateur professional productions to see the light of day, really where you think it's unreasonable to start asking for more.
I mean, like, if Disney presented you some, like something on, like, the knockoff level you see in China, you'd probably be pretty pissed.
Well, I mean, you can see it as, like... Okay, so with Rooster Teeth, it is kind of difficult, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Of, like, oh, well, they came from nothing, so they're not the most professional, but at the same time, they're not little boys. They're big boys.
See, I disagree. I disagree with this comment entirely. It's not too much to ask, because look what they pulled off with nothing, and now you have a budget, and you can actually fund these projects. Then you should put in some quality.
And they did.
Yeah.
So, but I think I can understand in the context of your comment, but I think in the context of this guy's comment, they're asking, like, even considering where Rooster Teeth came from and where they are now is impressive. Whereas this person saying, "Oh, Volume 4 wasn't up to my very finicky standards, therefore I'm asking for more."
I think you maybe could make the argument that, hey, they're putting too much into animation and, like, most of your budget should go into writing like in the old days, but we're not in that room. We don't know what's going on.
Let's see. Last comment, and we'll wrap this up here. Last comment. I need a good one. Okay, here we go. Volume 4's big problem was Weiss's and Blake's story felt rushed and kind of pointless.
Bullshit.
Yang's and Ruby's stories had the proper time and pacing put into them.
No, they did not.
Volume 5's big problem is that things are way too dragged out, and Rooster Teeth seems to think that every 12-minute episode has to end on a major cliffhanger. Again with the cliffhangers, these people. Do you need
These aren't cliffhangers. These are...
I think these people need to read a dictionary.
Or just need to go back to the 80s, where real cliffhangers happened.
Find out next time in Batman, the Brave and the Bold from the Full House.
Batman has been canceled.
Fuck! Almost no episodes have any sort of resolution to them, to the point where Rooster Teeth is basically just mocking us each time. No, they just want you to watch the next episode.
Yeah,
you inept person.
Does no one understand how serial animation works?
I don't think so, especially, which confuses me, because most of these, I'm assuming that most people who are on the RWBY Facebook page, or at least people who are fans of RWBY in general, also watch anime. And they recap what happened in the last episode nearly every time. If you're watching, like, a shonen...
Which I always felt is just a big insult to the audience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
if you complain about, like, oh, Rooster Teeth's just mocking us at this point, dude, anime studios,
recaps.
they spend 5 minutes, not including the 1.5-minute opening, explaining the previous episode that you most likely just watched.
Holy crap. All anime shows are 13 minutes long each episode.
Okay, well, to be fair, that's why I specified shonen shows.
No, most of them. Like, everyone does the recap. Holy shit.
Okay, Austin, you've watched like 5 anime.
Let's see, Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!
You're digging yourself a hole
You're
here.
digging yourself a hole.
Monster, Overlord.
Monster never did that. Wait, no, you haven't watched Monster, you asshole.
See it if you're listening.
Jesus Christ, you're such a liar. You've only
Going to.
I've read Monster. They don't.
So have I.
They don't recap what
You can't recap in a manga.
Actually, I think did Bleach do that in their manga?
Oh my god! Please tell me no.
No, they didn't. Okay, there is
like
certain-
two
certain-
pages.
No, certain shonens do a little recap, but that's usually like the narrator just explain, like, oh, in the last episode, and it's usually just a short paragraph, and usually it's like the same scene, takes off from the same scene, but drawn a little bit differently. Some have done that, like One Piece has on occasion done that.
I will just say on a note, and that's just because I'm watching I find I've actually caught up to One Piece and keeping up with it, although I do have to watch the latest episode. They are probably the most egregious people who do this.
Oh, yeah.
Shonen?
No,
Yeah.
One Piece.
Oh.
Because
Toei in general.
not joking. 5 minutes of each episode is dedicated to recaps.
Yes.
I'm just like, wow.
Holy crap!
It's like, I'm like, wow, the internet was amazing to come
And
out with
then
12-minute content. I'm
They
like,
cut,
no,
and then the
anybody's been
next
doing
like,
this for years.
and then after the ending, it's the extra 30. So 30 seconds is then supposed to tell you what's going to happen next in the next episode.
Yeah.
So that's like
you only get
almost
13 minutes of content.
Yeah. Well, 22 minutes
Minus 6.
minus 6. All right.
15.
15 minutes. But more to the point, I find it very hypocritical if you think Rooster Teeth is mocking you by having cliffhangers.
Cliffhangers.
It would be insulting if they recap before every
This is how
episode.
you build.
Then that would be pretty fucking annoying.
I mean, you could argue better for build-up. I mean, because that's what you do in a series animation. You build, and then finale, and that's where everything comes to a head.
So this is gonna be earning a lot of love when I post this to the Facebook page. Assuming anybody gets this far.
Assuming anyone listens to this, which they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. So, do you want to kind of have a few? They didn't show us a lot of information for the new shows. Do you want to chime in on any of those?
I like the if that one. If it's supposed to be the mech one. I like it, but I'm getting reminiscent of like Red versus Blue when they do the freelancer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that, where it's like people are recruited, and it's a government organization. I'm wondering if it's going to be very Ghost in the Shell-like, where it's...
Bro.
Well, Ghost in the Shell, like, where there are people inside of machines fighting or something.
Austin, you're digging yourself a hole here.
How am I digging myself a hole?
Because this is outside the podcast talk, but needless to say, he always makes it a point to insult my intelligence with Ghost in the Shell by always making his fun little quips about the 2017 movie that he finds.
Oh, no, I'm not talking
Oscar
about the
worthy.
27. I'm talking about the 80s. That was actually a legitimate production.
It was 1995. You normie. No,
I don't know what he's talking
I'm
about.
totally kidding.
He's
Totally.
fucking with me now.
It's like you're showing your weed.
Oh.
Zach, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Oh god, I'm on a
stupid
list
idiot.
now. I've shown my weeb.
They know! They're coming to get me!
Oh jeez, you better cut this podcast short. Remember, if you're listening to this podcast, please don't.
They're knocking at the door, Zach!
Oh my god!